gonna say.
Yeah, nobody can tell and nobody cares.
Okay.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, Steven has a story.
So I'm going to make a public apology to Amit because I thought I was being funny in a text message and he did not take it that way. And I apologize if my text was not funny.
Okay, now let me actually explain what happened. First of all,
the text?
The text was hilarious. I'm going to show you guys the text right now. It was hilarious. It was fucking hilarious. This is what I get from Steve at 8:51 a.m. while I'm in the middle of my show. It's a link to his tweet. And he's like, you know what to do. Thank you. That's funny. I'm just looking at this like, okay, I retweet your shit all the time. I don't care. But the way he said it, he was just like, motherfucker, you better go do it. And I was just like, I don't like how you said that, but I'm going to still do it because I love it.
No, that's not the tone. I was like, you know what to do.
Regardless, it was just funny. It was so funny. The more Steve's like, bro, at this point, just take the shit. And I'm like, Steve, just get on Twitter. There's so many people that love Sofi. They'll love your opinion. He's like, no, I'm not going to get on it. But when I make an article, I'll,
No.
Regardless, you had an article.
Away in your HD freaking whatever camera you have.
Only on this stream can you get 1080. Can't get that.
I mean, why are you not in 4K?
Get that on a Mint.
Wait, why can't we get it on Mint? I have StreamYard Pro too. Why can't we do it online?
All right, you can get it on a Mint. You can get it on mine. You can't get it on Tevis. So
yeah, you can get it on mine too. I have StreamYard Pro.
Yeah, Tanner, you have this idea.
I was the only one.
Tanner,
I was the only brokey that was paying, $35 a month.
No, I have a bone to pick with Tanner too, right? Because he thought he was special with StreamYard Pro. And then 2 hours ago, he puts out a tweet, okay? Puts out a tweet that says Vlad from Robinhood sold 83,000 shares.
Yeah. Which
I will admit
I was wrong on. I didn't know. I don't follow this stock.
I didn't think he was trying to report the news. I thought he genuinely was trying to throw some shade at the people that are bullish on Robinhood. And I didn't like that.
Oh, I got one more thing. So I'm switching it up.
What? That's it? That was the end of that, Amit?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all.
I found chocolate cappuccino coffee, which I am having right now, as a little nightcap.
Okay.
I've never seen chocolate cappuccino coffee. Like, I'm very excited about this.
Is it good?
It is excellent. With some Ready Whip on top, it's excellent.
Can we stick on you, Steve? Oh wait, or Amit, do you still want to talk about coffee? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say before we start the show, let's each take 30 seconds and say what's one highlight of our week that we were grateful for. And the chat can participate as well. What's one thing you did this week that you were
waking up in the morning?
Okay, a little bit more specific than that, so we'll give you some time. Tanner, let's start first. Anything this week that went well? Besides being
I closed a big sale at work.
Okay.
That was exciting.
Good.
Yeah.
That's why you're a good role model.
Is it?
I don't know.
Okay. For me, I was consistent at the gym. That's it. Steve, how about you?
I don't know.
What's up?
Steve's just not grateful for anything. Okay, Tevis, what was the highlight of your week?
Highlight of my week?
This is everyone's highlight, all right?
Yeah, nothing work related.
That actually was my highlight.
That photo was a surprise, bro. I did not expect.
I saw that and I was like, "Fuck! I guess I'm going to the gym tonight. I got to step it up."
Those are old pictures. That's not me anymore. I've lost a lot of weight, but yeah.
How old were you when you took those photos? Like 18, 19?
No, like 23, like 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But then I got into running, and then I got into YouTube. So,
all right, so let's get the show on the road. Let's go.
Yeah. So, first of all, Steven, this kind of has to do with all of us. But SoFi Center, I think we've all kind of spoken about it alone. I'd love to have a conversation about this. It's very big news, in my opinion, whether it's good or bad. It's by far maybe the biggest news that SoFi has done in quite a while, and I'm interested in everyone's take. So,
so I am not sure if you read my article or not, but to give you some background, give everybody on the channel in the comments some background. I grew up in the golf industry, and I actually, in addition to my other degrees, I actually have a degree in golf facility management and ran outdoor ops at a country club, taught, et cetera, et cetera. So
I didn't even know that was a thing.
This is why I love Steve. Huge. He's so filled with surprises.
So this is extremely big news if things go the right way. So the big problem with golf is, do any of you golf at all?
No.
All right. So barriers of entry is extremely expensive. It can get extremely expensive, but it's very time consuming. So the average round for a foursome is roughly 4.5 hours, 4 hours and 40 minutes. That doesn't include warm up or anything else. Now,
wait, hold on. What exactly is a foursome? Can we just
four people playing golf? You have singles, twosome, threesome, foursome.
Okay, understood.
So foursome is 4 people playing golf.
Like 2v2 or
two? Yeah, I mean, you can. When I used to play, I'm retired. I don't play anymore.
You're retired. You act
He's
like
retired.
What are you talking about? Retired.
So, look, I used to be very good, and I don't practice. I don't care about it anymore, and it's not fun to go out there and your body not respond. Anybody who played sports at a somewhat high level in college or whatever, it can't be as fun as it once was to go. If you were a D1 or a D2 basketball player and then you're 40 and you go try to play a pickup game, it's not going to be fun. So that's the only way I can explain it. But the whole thing with golf is getting the younger generation involved, and with how tech immersed everything is. And look, when you get older, 4.5 hours is a lot of time. Now, what they built is a tech infused new version of golf where it's kind of half and half. They're building an indoor facility for short game with 4 or 5 sand traps, huge putting green, and an area for chip shots. And then you have a very high-tech simulator that they're hitting into. Simulators are nothing new. This one's a monster. They're going to be mic'd up, and it could actually be a better television experience. And I promise you it's going to be a better in-person experience, because the problem with going to a golf event, one, if you're short, you're not going to see anything because it is just crowds of people. You're standing around. It's not a stadium. Some of the par threes have grandstands where you can sit around. Golf events are a lot of fun, but if you're actually trying to go there to view the stuff, you're better off staying home because you actually have to walk the whole course if you want to file Tiger or Rory or someone.
Right.
So this is going to be a much more intuitive space, and it's going to be so much quicker. A round is going to take like 2 hours in this facility, and a lot of the time is walking from shot to shot. These guys, when they tee off, they're hitting the ball. I think the average on the tour is around 292 or something like that off the tee. You're walking to your ball. You're waiting to find your ball. You're waiting for the next person to go. There's none of that anymore. It's action, action, action. They're going to be mic'd up. There could be a gambling aspect. And this is going to have viral clips of them talking trash. It's going to be like the Tiger Phil event that they had on pay-per-view to the next level, I believe. Now, if it's on network TV, there may not be cursing or whatnot, but if they add a gambling aspect, which I think they're going to do, in addition to prize money, anybody who follows golf is going to love this, especially with how tech immersed on Instagram and YouTube that golf has become. You have all these golf channels coming up like Good and all these other things that have been absolutely huge. Now, are you familiar with Top Golf at all?
It sounds familiar, but
So it's like Lucky Strike for bowling. Top Golf reinvented the driving range experience. What they are building now could be a model that could be replicated throughout the country. And the worst part is in the Northeast, anywhere that has a real winter, Canada, you're not playing golf outside in the winter. You have 6 to 8 months to play golf. This makes golf year round.
This is exactly what I said.
And this could transcend the game and make the barriers of entry less from a time aspect, from a cost aspect. And just to give you some stats, what's interesting is the National Golf Foundation said that 41.1 million Americans played golf both on and off the course in 2022. Now, what's our demographic? The younger generation. The category of young adults is the sport's biggest customer age segment from 18 to 34 with 12.2 million people. Juniors is 3.4 million juniors, which has grown by 36% or 900,000 by 2000 from 2006 through 2022. this is the target audience that SoFi's been going after. Tiger, Rory, Adam Scott, Ricky Fowler, they're all signed on for this. It's the who's who. And the PGA Tour is a investor in this. There's going to be a lot of hype around it. You look at the teams that are being put together from the city. Stephen Cohen is involved. You have the guy with the Boston Red Sox involved. I mean, there is a lot of money going into this. There's going to be a lot of publicity around it. And this could be a really fun thing to watch on TV or on the tech platforms. And this could be freaking huge for golf. Could be really good for SoFi.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm really excited, and I think it like you said, it's going to really help it turn into more of a spectator sport. Like, because they're all mic'd up and everything, all the newest tech. I kept comparing it to F1 because it's not like this is not that many people are going to play this style, but it is going to hopefully bring on a ton of viewers, and that's essentially what TGL wants and what SoFi wants. So what do you think is SoFi's role in this? And do you think that is the best target demographic to go after? Is this sort of more affluent, more expensive style sport that is growing very fast in America?
Well, I would argue that golf is the most expensive sport above skiing.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but I just think about the cost of clubs, ongoing equipment costs with balls. I mean, just going and playing a public course is going to cost you anywhere from $60 to $120.
Yeah.
If you play 20 rounds a year, that's easily $3,000 after food and stuff.
So,
and that's not even taking into consideration if you're a private club member. And we're not going to get into what that scene is like, but golf is very expensive. It is, think of it as when you see the people that credit score worthy SoFi goes after, look at it in that aspect of what they're going after.
So Tanner and I had members only on Wednesday.
Here, wait, can I butt in, Tevis? Because I think some people literally don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
so,
maybe we can throw it up, the press release.
Yeah, so essentially, SoFi is sponsoring this entire sport. So TGL is this new sports league started by Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, and they are sponsoring the entire show. So even embedded in the logo is SoFi. So it's TGL by SoFi. Okay. Whenever you look at all the new players that they're bringing on and everything,
stay on that
in the
picture.
arena, you'll even see here. I can't zoom in through Twitter. It won't let me bring it any bigger, but I can change it here in a second. But you'll see the arena. Actually, I'll just do that. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Here we go. If you can see this, essentially the players are playing from here. They're shooting it into this simulated screen that's like 20 times larger than a normal simulation screen. So they hit the ball in the white, and then the simulator will take it from there and generate what it thinks where the ball should have went. Supposedly it's extremely accurate. SoFi's name will be plastered all on the inside and outside of the arena. But we're going to pay for those naming rights.
Show the logo. Show the logo. Show the logo.
Yeah, so
I started with the logo.
I think the best way to look at this is, instead of dumping advertising dollars into campaigns that don't necessarily hit the target demographic, I think we need to look at this is just they're allocating part of their advertising spend on an annual basis toward this, in addition to SoFi Stadium,
right?
Because the logo is going to be plastered all over the place, and it's just going to be on repeat in viral clips and everything else on the internet, instead of just paying for ad space for a 30-second ad that runs once.
Yeah, and I think some people are making the connection that this might be like some of the other sports spin-offs that celebrities have tried to do, like Big Three for basketball, where it's more of a 3-on-3 exhibition that kind of went nowhere, to be honest.
The difference is this could become a huge business outside of the SoFi partnership for TGL. Think of like a McDonald's franchise.
And it's sponsored by the biggest players.
You don't have to replicate this with the sheer size, but you can make satellite and actually create an indoor league for regular people. I mean, the round is half the speed. You can do multiple simulators. It doesn't have to be that big, be a normal size simulator, like when you go into a PGA Superstore or something like that, and just build it out. You can make indoor league memberships. I mean, there were indoor league country clubs in New York City that I've been to pre-COVID. There's a lot of things. I really want to see how this shakes out, but this could end up being big. And then if SoFi ends up having naming rights or part of it, if it grows into a business 5-10 years down the road, could be very interesting. But I do think that this league is going to transcend a lot of things with golf. I think it's going to be huge.
And for all the comments asking, it will be on ESPN. Starting January 2024, they've already broken ground on this. It's on ESPN.
And anybody who's a golf fan is going to watch. I mean, you got the who's who. Except for Phil, you got the who's who.
Do you know how, I mean, obviously we don't know how much, but what do you estimate this is going to cost us in marketing?
I have no idea, and I don't even want to throw out a number.
I threw out a number.
How many years is this for again? Or is this just 2024?
No, so they said multi-year partnership.
Okay.
Honestly, we'll learn more about on Q3's earnings call, I'm sure. The way I looked at it is we pay $30 million for SoFi Stadium. It's a much, much bigger arena, way bigger seats. I think like 80,000.
Yeah, this thing only holds 2,000.
Yeah, 2,000 people versus 80,000. But I also do think that it comes with a massive premium just because of all the names that are on it. I would probably say that if I were to guess, and this is a pure guess, that we're paying $20 million a year because the naming rights for SoFi Stadium was $30 million. So
10 to 20 is probably a good guesstimate until we get more information on it.
Yeah, it's not going to be like $100 million. I don't think it'll be so far off the ballpark of where our last naming rights deal was at.
Yeah, but there's a couple of clear benefits, right? And I think Steve outlined them. I know, Tanner, we talked a little bit about them on Wednesday. I think the year-round thing is really big. The celebrity endorsements is huge, and just all the content that will be created out of this. I mean, I mentioned to Tanner that I remember when Steph Curry hit this hole-in-one, and this video just went viral like all summer long of just Steph Curry randomly hitting a hole-in-one. I can imagine stuff like that around.
Go a step further, because this doesn't just have to be this golf league. This stadium's not going to run idle. When the NBA is in the off season, when football's in the off season, I would be willing to bet that they're going to do sports league competitions. They're going to do a lot of stuff with this.
Right. So that's obviously another positive, and just the amount of celebrity endorsements, like. We have strong celebrity, like athlete endorsements for football. Then now we have the opportunity to have that in other sports. I actually mentioned that, obviously SoFi has a tried and true PR and marketing strategy around increasing the unaided brand awareness through sports.
Oh my God.
And, Tanner's main thing was like, golf is a sport that aligns very well with our demographic. I think the next sport that they break into is tennis.
So
that's my prediction after this.
I just had a thought that I did not think about before. It was off something you say, Tavis. But think about this. Tiger Woods' PGA Tour video game is absolutely huge. What if this becomes a venue inside his game also? Like, that's completely plausible.
Yeah, like a convertible.
Like instead of playing on one of the courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black or Erin Hills or somewhere, you actually play through the simulator on the game as one of the challenges or one of the events. I mean, if this ends up in Tiger Woods golf, that's going to be so big.
Some people are saying like it could be, we might not even know the price of the naming rights because it literally could be a flexible or variable deal based on the numbers that they bring on. It could be all sorts of things. But yeah, I think it is a good bet. Anthony Noto likes to make these sizable bets. And one thing that I keep harping on that I'm not hearing enough about is I find that this is really proving that the SoFi Stadium deal was absolutely a smashing success, and that the people who doubted it before, I think going after a second deal really proves that we brought down our customer acquisition costs. We had high retention with the people that we actually got from SoFi Stadium, and the increase in unbranded or unaided brand awareness that we saw from Taylor Swift concerts and The Weeknd and all of these things is actually working, and we're willing to replicate that system. I think it's extremely exciting.
Yeah, and look, SoFi Stadium is something that I think Wells Fargo has their name on an arena. A couple of other players, I think Citi has their name on an arena. It's just one of those things where if you just look at from 2018 to 2023, that 5-year span, they went from 3% brand awareness to 8% or 9%, tripling essentially their brand awareness. In the next 5 years, through expanding into other sports, they could really become a household name. If that triples again, then they're right on the heels of the largest banks in America, which hover around 20 to 30% brand awareness. So, another tripling and they're right there.
Yeah, this is all about throwing SoFi's name in everybody's face as much as possible to get to their end goal. And you got to remember, there are 16,000 golf courses in the US as of the end of 2022. You have 41.1 million people playing, 12.2 million 18 to 34 years old. Now, think about that segment, and then the juniors are 3.4 million. And think about what Bank of America said, that Gen Z's income is going to reach 33 trillion and surpass millennials in 2031. And Gen Z is on track to increase its income from 7 trillion to 17 trillion by 2025 globally. So this is exactly where we want to be.
There was a couple comments that really stuck out. So one is Doug's comment saying that Noto did actually just recently talk about this. He was on an interview talking about this, and then he explained that because of the Monday Night Football games or whatever, that it is seasonal, and so this will close that gap, which is quite exciting. So sports sponsorships. I can't say that all year round. Jeez, it's on screen. Next, another one. Harry Garcia is saying, I'm skeptical, especially that professionals playing a computer game where they could be beat by an amateur, no weather or other natural obstacles. I will say,
okay,
is weather.
I'm going to address that right now.
Okay, go ahead.
And I never give absolutes. Okay?
Sure.
So I'm not going to say 0% chance. I'm going to say 0.00000000001% chance.
Okay, so 0%. Yeah, go ahead.
That any amateur that is above a scratch golfer, that is their chance of beating any one of these people in this stadium, period.
But honestly, I don't think people are quite understanding what this sport is. They won't have a chance to play them. This is not an open league. This is closed teams. It's like, honestly, from what I'm reading, it's like Formula One. These are selected.
This is not a video game.
These are selected players that are going to play on this league that get to play, and it's for spectator sport.
And one thing that I also brought up, and
there will be wind and stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, so the simulator can simulate different environments. I think that's a technical problem that is fairly easy to resolve. One thing that I mentioned with Tanner with regards to this is those professional athletes, Tiger Woods and the like, they are elite players that actually compete in this sport, even though it is a seasonal sport. They don't just practice whenever it's, sunny outside or it's summer. Like, they use simulators regularly throughout the winter period to practice and perfect their game.
Tiger Woods' backyard or Rory's backyard. Their backyards have a par 3 course in it, and they live in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not two people getting a controller and playing Tiger Woods golf. This is real skill. You still have to have the same force in your golf swing to project the ball over 300 yards. You still have to have the accuracy in the chipping area that they are building with the short game area. You still have to be able to hit the sand shots. Everything, The only difference
the simulator knows where you shot from. So it can tell the angle of the shot, it can tell the force of the shot, and then it's just projecting out where that would land. And supposedly from what I'm reading, like they're pretty dang accurate. This is not new technology. And they did sign with like the best simulator. Like, I don't know the names of these companies.
What
but I
was
was
it?
reading about it.
Foresight or Trackman? Which one?
I'll find it here in a sec. They did tweet about it.
Guys, let me play the other side of this. So I'm not that excited about this because I really don't care about golf, but I understand that's my own bias. I know there's obviously a huge population for it. If we paid, let's say 15 million, middle of 10 and 20, do you really think it's an efficient use of capital?
Yes.
Why?
Well, from what Anthony Noto said about the stadium is that like you're bringing on all of the influence, like SoFi's name gets spread out to, Justin Bieber's going to be retweeting this. He's an investor. Serena Williams, Justin Timberlake.
But my problem with that is we get access to a lot of those people via SoFi Stadium already.
I know, but we want to double up. Sometimes it takes someone 15 times to see a brand name before they actually buy what they're seeing.
That's a very generic argument. And like, I'm thinking of diversifying and getting new audiences. I don't know if this is necessarily a new audience.
This is a much new audience.
Where did we get the golf audience?
If celebrity is the core argument you're going for, that's at SoFi Stadium.
Diversification is not what SoFi has said that they need. They need 20% of America to know their name. That's what they've said. So they said unaided brand awareness is currently at 2%. If it gets to 20%, they believe they'll be a top 10 financial.
I agree, but do you think golf is what helps us get to 20%?
Well, because it's the high-end affluent customer, and so I think that's the niche that we've went after first before we go down market. So this is buying like high-end top consumers at hopefully a cheap customer acquisition cost.
So
at the end of the day, Tanner, so let me just respond to it. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're just doubling down on what's proven to be a winning strategy, right? They're not idiots. They wouldn't bet on this if they weren't already seeing the ROI from SoFi Stadium. And so they're running the same play that they've known has worked with football. They're just now running it with golf. And when it works with golf, they're going to be running it with tennis, and when it works with tennis, they're going to be running it with so on and so forth. And it doesn't mean that like golf is like the next big, gold mine of unaided brand awareness. It's just another thing that they can measure an ROI to say, hey, this is our spend, this is our projected return, and this is the time value of that investment. Let's go for it, right? Because it's already been proven from the stadium side of things for football.
So, Amit, let me put it to you this way.
By far the best comment, by the way.
A company allocates X toward their advertising budget. So when they have an advertising budget, they're thinking about what is the best way to allocate that budget to generate brand awareness. Now, some companies are going to go for Super Bowl commercial. Some companies are going to go for radio ads. Coca-Cola, Budweiser, they're synonymous with Super Bowl commercials. This year, the cost of a 30-second ad at the Super Bowl was $7 million. Now, that commercial is going to be seen by a lot of people, but it's going to cost them more money to run that ad on other syndications. What we're going to get here is SoFi's name everywhere during all these matches being on YouTube, these clips of the matches being on ESPN. Instagram and YouTube. There's going to be a lot of highlight reels on ESPN. This is going to be the gift that keeps on giving from this with unique clicks. And that's what we want because SoFi's name and logo are going to be everywhere. And if we want to keep taking away from the big banks at this rate, we need their name in the most cost-efficient way to be out there. And this is going to be big. The amount of people that are searching for woods or searching for golf and searching for these things is very big.
And so whenever people actually went to SoFi Stadium, do you know how they enticed people to go from being just regular SoFi Stadium event goers to being SoFi Stadium members? SoFi members?
No.
There were SoFi member lounges within the stadium that you could only attend if you were a bank account holder, right? So actually being a member. And then they also offered 25% off concession stand and like merchandise and all those things if you were a SoFi bank member. 25% off. So very interesting that if you are to go here or you want to actually visit the stadium, it is only 2,000 people. So I don't think it's quite the slam dunk for them. This is going to hopefully be mainly viewed from an online perspective, but still, you know, you're promoting the brand through additional discounts. This is why you should sign up with the bank. And one of the things that Anthony Noto recently said was they were sponsoring events like this. Like that's what they were doing. They were just having the commercials or sponsoring a NASCAR or something like this. Like that's what they were doing before. And then they did SoFi Stadium and they were just like the compounding effects of that is just incredible. Some people
you also have to think about this. The PGA of America is the machine that's going to be behind this. Just like Rogan wants Dana White to put the UFC machine behind Muay Thai, this machine of the PGA of America is going to get behind this because they are an investor in this. The machine of Tiger Woods is going to get behind this. The machine of all the investors that are celebrities, the machine of Stephen Cohen. This is going to be advertised at Fenway Park, at Shea Stadium, or wherever the fuck the new Citi Field is. This is going to be advertised everywhere on an ongoing basis for free that SoFi is not going to pay for because these huge people own teams.
Let me then ask the group this, because I mean, I think this is an important question to consider. Why now? We know that this SoFi Center is still being
that's
built,
a great one.
and we won't see any gains or ROI materialize for another couple of years until the actual facility is built and the league is started. Yet this next 2 quarters is absolutely crucial for them to hit profitability.
Yep.
And while 15 million might not be a big amount for SoFi in 2 years, it's a huge amount. It's a make or break amount for their bottom line in these next 2 quarters. So why now?
So there's at least I have 2 answers for that. First answer is because the amount of money that they're going to spend on this is not going to break them from becoming profitable. They're obviously forecasting with this cost in there for them to be profitable. The second reason is because Tiger and Rory have been working on this for about 3 years now, I believe. And this is when they are going forward with it. Yeah. They probably looked at multiple naming people, and SoFi is the one that they went with, and SoFi is the one that made the most sense for them. And it's also a timing thing. I mean, you're not telling Tiger and Rory, Tiger's a billionaire. You're not telling them, no, you got to wait a year. They're going to do what they want to do. They got the machine of the PGA behind them too.
So basically, Stephen, you think that SoFi will reach profitability and then like the 15, we're just assuming it's 15,
if
right?
Let's just say the reason that they come in with -1 EPS in Q4.
You'll take it. I get it. I'll take it.
I'm going to be pissed the fuck off.
Okay. So
I'm going to be super fucking mad.
Okay. So that's, I guess what I'm trying to get to is like, either they're like, hey, we got it in the bag. Don't worry. Trust us. But they can't really like forecast to that certain degree for another quarter, especially in this like macro environment. We could get another hike. We could get so many things could happen that could affect their forecast.
Unless they come out on this earnings call and says, we are making this strategic investment, which could impact profitability in Q4. But if we don't hit profitability in Q4, we're going to come in at -1. And then we're going to be GAAP profitable going forward every quarter. I'll accept that answer. But if they don't say anything, and then they miss in Q4, I'm going to be really fucking pissed off because of how much Noto has said that they're going to be profitable. And I'll understand if this opportunity supersedes that, but if they're going to miss or if there's a chance, they got to say it on this call.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think that, well, you're right. I don't think that they can miss it if they continue to keep the narrative up that we're going to be profitable in Q4. But you know what? the naming rights on stadiums is not a very liquid market. Like, so if they had to take the deal now because they come up, every now and then, and maybe one does not come up that looks this juicy with the backings that of the investors that they have behind it. Okay.
Yeah, but Tanner, like we might give them the benefit of the doubt because we can see the forest for the trees. The market is going to crucify
Yeah, but
them.
who get the market?
I'm just
doesn't
saying.
matter. The long term getting to be a top 10 financial institution is not worrying about the investors' expectations over the next 3 to 6 months. That is not included. So if you want to really focus on long-term expectations, you need to take the big bets whenever you actually get them.
I understand, but we don't really have okay. I agree with you guys, by the way. I'm just playing devil's advocate. And the devil's advocate is that the management team, the executives don't really have like 10 years to go slow and steady and win the race because of their PSUs in 2025. And if they start turning, if they don't go profitable in Q4, and the stock falls back to $5, let's say, or $4, that's the wrong direction for the stock to fall. And it makes it so much harder for them to hit their PSU targets.
I don't think they're going to miss GAAP profitability in Q4. I mean,
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. I'm just trying to present the counter argument and just let me know if
No, I think Tevis, I think you're 100% right, bro. I think if we miss GAAP profitability in Q4 because of golf, that's not going to be a fun investor report. Now, Tanner's right long term, but also Tevis is right. Like, this is our opportunity to take share from the banks and to be a respected stock.
You call it golf, but what if you call it like 500 million impressions? Like,
dude, do we even know that's going to happen? Like, come on, man.
Just out of their investors, that's what they have across.
Yeah. So let's talk about that real quick. So I have the list in front of me. So outside of Tiger and Rory, which if somebody wants to look at their Instagram and tell me how many freaking followers I have, that would be amazing. Or Twitter.
Steve, just because you Instagram something to your followers doesn't mean they see it, nor does that mean they care. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you guys are reaching a little bit with
humor me for a second.
Make the bull case.
I'm not saying that they're going to become customers, but they are going to see the title.
Yeah, but there's two things, guys. Unaided brand awareness is really a long-term play that you won't. It's very hard to measure the actual tangible results. Look, let me present a counter argument. In February of 2022, they did the SoFi Money Moves campaign, which got billions of impressions. It got, I think, 6 billion or 7 billion impressions. Did you guys see a massive spike in terms of the actual numbers? No, you saw a gradual progression, but what you actually saw was that unaided brand awareness increasing. And so the unaided brand awareness is really all the stuff that happens in the background as SoFi accelerates their member addition. It's not an immediate ROI. And that's all I'll say on that.
Yeah, so let's look at the investors real quick. TGL Atlanta is led by Arthur Blank, who's ABM Sports and Entertainment, Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta United, and PGA Tour Superstores. TGL Boston, led by John Henry and Tom Werner, and Fenway Sports Group. That's Boston Red Sox, Liverpool FC, and Pittsburgh Penguins. Los Angeles.
I honestly think most of the investors, like the solo investors, are larger than those organizations.
No, but you'll see my point in a sec. The Los Angeles
Serena Williams.
No, has Angel City FC and the Williams sisters, et cetera, et cetera. TGL New York, Stephen Cohen, New York Mets, Cohen Private Ventures. Okay. They're not investing in this because they think it's going to lose money. And when you look at the Mets, you look at the Penguins, Liverpool FC, the Boston Red Sox, Atlanta Falcons, there is no way that this is not going to be in their stadiums or arenas at some point next year. And the year after that, and the year after that. The amount of impressions that we're going to get virtually, the amount that we're going to see in these stadiums from this physically. And then if this becomes a repeatable business, I would like to think with PGA Superstores behind this and Stephen Cohen, that this is going to be a scalable business that's going to grow, that SoFi may or may not have an investment in, and their logo may or may not be on satellite locations. This could be bigger than SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily the building that we're sponsoring. We're sponsoring PGL. Good
this
point.
Can scale outside of it if this becomes centers the way Topgolf does, and they open this up to the public on a scaled down version. Like this has the.
I hope this works. I'm not, as an investor, it's not exciting to me. I hope it works. I trust Noto and the team that they did all the calculations way better than us and probably planned it for the last 7-8 months before they did it. But personally, I'm not super excited, but I wouldn't bet against the team to do something like this. So
Yeah, they're looking at it as an opportunity cause that this is going to help them grow membership.
now here's the question. Okay, Tanner, go ahead.
No, please.
I was gonna say I don't want to do member predictions yet, but do you think we beat that 584?
No.
Yeah, man. I don't know what led to the spike last quarter, but I don't know if we beat that 584. It's a big number to beat, bro.
It was the second time that they went over 500, I think.
If we do 600 divided by 90 days, that's 54,000 members a day, right? 600,000 divided by 90.
That doesn't.
No, sorry,
right.
6,000 members a day. About 6,500 members a day. 6,600. 6,600 people have to sign up for SoFi every day since the last earnings. I
have my number, and I want to see the last month, like September's website traffic, to make sure there wasn't any crazy spikes to the upside or downside or whatever.
Is the website traffic trending above where it was last quarter?
Yes. Yeah. It's on a consistent, it's just doing this. No, it's not blowing away but it's just gradually growing over time. So, which is exciting. But yeah, I don't want to say my number just yet because I'm going to keep that for.
It's too early to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction then.
Okay.
Either this quarter or next quarter, we break 600,000.
Didn't you say last quarter it was the lowest number? Like you predicted like 418,000 or something.
No, I don't think it was that low. I didn't go crazy with it.
It was like under 420,000 or something. You blew me away with how low it was.
You took the under. I think you were the one that took the under.
Yeah, I probably took the under.
I don't know that it's going to break 600 just because like if they're lowering spend for profitability, then they have that as a headwind.
Yeah, I think with football season here, that this quarter or next quarter, we have a good chance of breaking 600.
Yeah, I think last quarter we all guessed. I think I even came in at the closest prediction again, and I was still 100,000 off. Like it was mind blowing what happened last quarter. I think some network effects are going to continue to happen in that area. I think SoFi Money product is going to be the lifesaver of our product line. I don't think SoFi Invest or these sorts of products are going to excel this quarter. But
we've been in that 30 range. We haven't really cracked top 20 outside of a few weeks.
During the Taylor Swift tour, we were in the 20s.
Yeah,
like the entire time.
Yeah. Now it's so funny because Robinhood's always in the top 20, but they can barely sign up new members. Like their net funded accounts like barely go up.
Look, Noto has said in the fireside chat that we are going to do over $2 billion this quarter in new capital coming into SoFi Money, and a portion of that is probably going to be from new members and new direct deposits. I mean, this is something that I'll say this: if we break last quarter, it could be plausible that this is going to start a stair step upwards.
You got to say it, Tevis. You gotta finish it.
I'm not.
He gave you $5. Finish it.
What flavor?
No.
Steve doesn't get the meme. I don't think
I'm not saying
meme?
that.
What are you talking about meme?
You got to say yum yum. You got to say yum yum.
It's like a TikTok.
It's a TikTok.
No, because if I say that stupid shit, then he's going to be sending me more money to say more stupid shit, and I'm not.
Yeah, $5. Make it 50, Matt. Then
I have never fucking.
If Matt sends me $50, I'll say it.
All right, now Matt's rich, so let's just see if he feels like sending you the 50.
Yeah, Matt's an oil and gas. He doesn't care.
If he sends you 50, you got to do the whole NPC thing the whole time.
No, why doesn't SoFi just sponsor her, Pinky Doll, and just tell her to say SoFi so good for bro? She gets an audience. She has 50,000 people.
Also, SoFi, if we actually look historically, has been there. We go. All the memes are coming in now.
Thanks, Kelly.
Also a Pinky Doll thing, but
I don't even know who Pinky Doll is.
She got popular for acting like a non-playable character.
You know what an NPC is, Steve?
Non-playable character.
An NPC, yeah, he does.
No, he
like
doesn't.
World of Warcraft, like someone you'd take a
Dude,
quest
are
from.
you serious?
What's an NPC?
I just told you a non-playable character.
No, but like, what does they do? What like describe them in real life? Like, if I was an NPC, like
Describe them in
You're
real
not, you're a
life. He just
freaking
said.
human.
it's like it's an insult to say someone's an NPC. So that's like the trend.
Man, people have gotten pretty soft in this day and age. Then if that's an insult.
Thank you, Steve.
Steven knows
Thank
what
you.
an NPC is from where that term actually came from World of Warcraft and RuneScape and stuff. Amit knows it from memes.
It's basically like they have limited dialogue trees where it's just,
Okay.
they have no.
That's a very good way of
It's
putting
so
it.
hard to explain it. Like, it's just crazy how big of a thing it's become. But when you try to explain it, like, doesn't make sense. But
The
yeah.
fact that it even became a big thing is crazy. It's a freaking thing you get a quest from in WoW. Like,
Exactly.
stop.
Exactly.
Just stop. Anyway.
Yeah, so people would donate and then they'd have to, or this person would say things like gang gang and ice cream so good, yum yum.
But
Basically,
but ice
should we
cream
just
is
show it
good.
to Steve, bro? Should we show
When
it?
you
No,
say
no,
it in
no,
a
no, I'm not-
monotone,
no, this
that's
is
going to
a SpongeBob thing
demonetize
again.
us. Yeah, let's not go there.
No, it's
man.
not. It's not gonna
By
be
the way,
bad.
everyone, this is why I control the stream
Show
now.
it. I mean, show it.
No,
Who-
first of all, it won't demonetize
who
you.
cares
It's not-
about monetization?
it's a
Amit, you said this once with SpongeBob, all right? We're going to
Yeah.
get demonetized.
Well, this one
Oh, man, I'm
actually
sharing
won't,
my-
bro.
I'm sharing my
Paramount
money with
doesn't
you.
own the gang girl. Like, that's. It would be funny to show Steve, but
What do you
I don't
mean she
control the
doesn't own it? Of course she'd own it.
dude, she's not. There's so many re-uploads of her on YouTube. She's on TikTok. She's not going to copyright claim a version.
Anyone
of her.
can look up Pinky Doll. That's fine. But I did want to add, just going back to SoFi really quickly, that we do also sponsor a bunch of golf players already, as well as football. So we've
Doesn't
already
matter.
kind of been in this space already. And this is
Sponsoring golfers is like sponsoring a freaking NASCAR.
we did
don't
that
see-
too.
Yeah, I don't know that I really see the value in that. I don't know.
Clearly,
What
it
else
works.
happened this week?
The Galileo MasterCard thing or the buy now, pay later to SMBs. We want to talk about that.
Yep. Go ahead, and I'll bring it up as you're talking.
So basically, Galileo partnered with MasterCard through MasterCard installments to provide buy now, pay later services to SMBs so that the Galileo clients, which is a B2B connection, can provide buy now, pay later to their like B2B2C client, essentially.
I'm faster than Jamie.
And it's basically like we had the B2C side of buy now, pay later. This is just an expansion to provide it to their end clients. And look, this is coming at an interesting time, right? Because you got to keep in mind that last week's news around Galileo was the FedNow partnership, or Galileo basically providing an on-ramp onto FedNow. And then before that was Galileo's APIs around installment lending, installment loans to their clients. And all this does is it builds a wider moat in terms of that tech ecosystem to leverage Galileo from an end-to-end tech perspective.
Yeah. No, I think it's quite interesting. Essentially, this is not us lending out to small to mid-sized businesses. This is us offering large financial institutions who do already do this the ability to have more of a streamlined, faster approach to this through MasterCard installments, which is very much a great product and, pays the actual merchants or financial institutions instantly with no risk while slowly, what's called receiving the funds from the merchant, then MasterCard will collect that themselves. Very, very interesting. And it's just another offer because, those large banks, they obviously need many more services than the small fintechs like Chime or Current or something like this. And so offering these more complex products will bring on hopefully more of the Wells Fargos, the Cities, which is our new target demographic, or at least that's what management has been expressing.
Yeah. So that's the other piece of news. I don't know if we want to just speed run some of the news pieces. I also posted about, we talked about this last week. I don't know if we want to get into macro, Steve, again, but the debt spiral around 275 billion being added in a single day, that blew my mind quite a bit. U.S. debt crossed 33 trillion.
Bring up the U.S. debt clock.
U.S. debt clock. We're on track to be adding, U.S. is on track to be adding 1 trillion every month in debt. I don't think people understand how wild that is.
Tanner,
Every month.
Bring up the U.S. debt clock. USDebtClock.org.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to divert into the macro, but
disgusting.
And then meanwhile, Biden announced $9 billion additional for student debt cancellation. I mean, Supreme Court's probably going to shoot that down, but just read the room, man.
Yeah, I mean, right there, the interest on the debt doesn't stop. You have the 2-year, I think it hit like the 12 month hit like 5.47 today or something like that. We're issuing debt at higher levels. And I mean,
what was really interesting though is with the 10-year at 4.9 today, if you round up, the jobs report was incredibly hot, right? 330,000 jobs, but the market reversed, and it kind of was the good news became good news. Like a good economy is a good economy versus the inverse for inflation.
The jobs report was kind of mixed though, right? Like the top line number is really good, but wasn't the split really weird in terms of like the part-time versus full-time? It was like 80% part-time.
Look, the real figures next Thursday when CPI comes out, if we get core tick up, that's going to probably,
we're not going to tick up. We're going to go at least 3.5 from 3.7. I doubt.
I don't know. Oil's been up, man.
Well, yeah, for September, it's come down, but September, you're right. It was.
So if CPI and of course CPI tick up, it may force the Fed's hand because of how hot the economy is and unemployment is still around 3.8%. It could force their hand. I mean, if you look at the CME Group FedWatch tool, I think it's 11.8% chance that in November they're going to bump it 25 bips. But if I remember correctly, it's like 37% for December that we get a hike of 25 bips. So a lot of people aren't necessarily concerned about that, but we really could be in an environment higher for longer, which could be bad for a majority of stocks out there. But based on what Dodo said, it could be good for SoFi, because if we have higher rates for longer and then they start coming down at a slower pace, SoFi is going to be able to have the most attractive rate for a longer period. I mean, they're going to have one of the most attractive rates regardless, no matter where rates go. But this could actually work out in SoFi's benefit from an attractiveness from the customer standpoint.
Yeah. I think this is all predicated on the idea that we haven't really seen large losses in our loan portfolio. And if rates do stay higher for longer, and, people are debt consolidating for a reason, unaffordability, you know what I mean? And if it continues on for too long, then the SoFi loans that we're offering them can become unaffordable. And at that point, things get quite scary because we just debt consolidated all of these people, which to their, to the good side, they have good FICO scores and good, high income paying jobs. But if tech is laying off and all of these things, and people are needing to get a new job that might be lower paying, then who knows? Who knows? They could be in a completely different situation than now. And, pressure is on.
Unemployment is going to be the key figure to watch. You cannot have unemployment go up to 4.5 to 5%. 5% is that critical number where recession is imminent.
Well, no. It's not imminent. It's already it's past the point of no return. Those are lagging indicators. If unemployment goes up to 5%, you're in a recession, right? It's
recession will technically hit within 12 months of hitting that figure.
I know, but what I'm saying,
no one knows
yes, you're in it, but it'll confirm it.
Exactly. What I'm saying by you're in it is nothing you can do will stop it. It's already the thing has already started.
Unemployment is the key indicator. It's not where rates are. It's not the freaking inversion of the yield curve. It's unemployment.
Well, I don't know, man, because oil, there's macro levers for oil with what's going on in Europe, right? And so as oil fluctuates and is more volatile, that's obviously going to affect CPI numbers, which is going to affect the Fed. I think the black swan is also the fact that we're heading into an election year. And that's why we're also seeing this crazy spending in terms of, this was end of fiscal with regards to Social Security, the 275 billion that was added, but even like Biden adding the 9 billion in debt forgiveness, those are all attempts to buy votes as we go into an election, right? And those are all factors that play into this number. I do think that we're going to get 25 bips in November, but I also think that some stress fracture is going to happen and we're going to be higher for shorter, not longer. That we actually see a reduction in the spring and or summer because of these stress fractures that the Fed is going to introduce by raising another 25 basis points in November.
Yeah, you have the two sides. So you have corporate / real estate debt coming due, and then you have personal, because you have people that have floating rate on credit card, where some people are over 20%, some people are in the high teens. You have some mortgages that are not fixed. You have mortgages that are at a high rate. So we've been lucky that it has not cracked yet. If 25 basis points is what makes it crack, we're going to have to wait and see. I don't think they can really go that much. This is a different time than in the 80s and in the 90s. You know, if you look at a 40-year period, 5% should be normalized, but it's not normalized when you had rates at next to nothing for so long. And you had your business model based off of very low debt. And if you have to refinance now at higher rates, it causes real stress on the business cycle. So the Fed has to, they're not dumb. They are putting it, making it seem like they don't care and they only care about maximum employment and inflation, but they have to be considering all these other things. And whether they want to say it or they don't, and they are trying to thread a very fine needle right now. And I think they're even trying to figure out what the breaking point is, because they can't control production of oil in the US or internationally. There's a lot of factors that go into this.
I'm just playing around a little bit with with looking at what the consumer loans right now for credit cards and other revolving products at commercial banks. Look at this. This is the chart over just the last 2 years or so. Credit card debt mainly. This is what also, you know, companies like Lending Club will point to say, hey, we have an amazing total addressable market. We have all this money to actually go in and refinance it and bring down those rates. And that's great. And the total addressable market is only going up. But like, I don't know. I think that that's fine, but you also have to address, why does it continue to go up? Are people having a hard time, you know, even affording to live, so they have to put it on credit? How long can that string go on for? And then, you know, you tie that chart with federal funds rates and you're like, okay, well, if there's another 25 bips and that's going to go out till, you know, maybe another year, something has to break. Something has to break, and let's hope it's not on the side of SoFi.
The thing about the jobs report is there were people thinking that maybe the Fed doesn't have to break something because inflation can come down, labor market can stay well, and equities can do well because the yield will come down. Now, that's a Goldilocks scenario that I just don't know if it's possible. And I think we all feel it's possible today because... Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like everyone's talking about the soft landing, but it's actually extremely rare. Like, so everyone wants it and they go, oh, yeah, well, it's very possible, but history says it doesn't happen really. It happens very rarely.
It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. But if Jay Powell pulls it off, this man is like the most important man in human history.
It can still occur. We're not out of the woods yet, but it can still occur.
Sure. Is there anything else, ladies and gentlemen, that potentially... Doug, what he said, credit card balances up, savings down, not good. But you know what? Potentially we can place ourselves more on the golfing side, where potentially those pains are not as seen. Anything else that you guys want to say before we get going?
Yeah, I have a question for you guys.
All right, I got a dip, Steve. I got a podcast.
Okay, so
hi guys.
I am Seeking Alpha is running a competition for the best value idea.
All right. Well, I think I got a dip too. Then, if that's the case.
So, what should I?
That's the question.
Yeah, that's my question. What should I write about?
You should write about PayPal stock.
I think so too.
That was where I was leaning.
All right, do that.
You should write about PayPal stock. That's on there. That stock's a slam dunk, and it's one of the greatest values out there.
How do you feel about the Apple thing? I wanted to ask you guys that.
Apple Pay?
Yeah, adding them and Venmo cards into it.
Honestly, Morgan Stanley came out being extremely bullish on it. They brought their price target to $126 for PayPal because of that news. The truth is PayPal debit and credit cards is not even really a big part of their business. Like it's mainly the PayPal checkout, and so it might be great, but I'm not overly jazzed about it.
Okay, time to wrap.
Okay, all right. I thought maybe we were going to talk about some PayPal.
Yeah, we could talk about some
No.
PayPal. I mean, Tevis has other obligations. You and I don't.
Yeah. No, maybe we should just get going then.
I mean, you guys are free to talk about PayPal. I'm just like, I can't.
Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend you're going to see potentially a little bit of Tevis and I, or no, we're pre-recording that.
We're pre-recording, yeah, but we are going to have an episode on Monday for Stock Tank.
We're going to have an episode on Monday for Stock Tank. Steve and I maybe we'll talk about PayPal. You want to do it live tomorrow, Steve?
Let's just do it right now.
No, dude, that's not the way it works. I need to create thumbnails. I need to
Oh my God.
tell the PayPal people that we're doing a live. You don't get it, man.
You don't
get it.
You can get Roy on there too.
Marketed.
You can get Roy on there too. He's always good.
We should do a.
Have you spoken to Roy?
We should do an economic breakdown before the Fed decision.
Ooh, I'm down for that.
Say that again. I didn't hear it.
We should do an economic breakdown before the Fed decision.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is why we need Alternative Asset Weekly, so that we can talk about macro stuff and not feel guilty.
I'm down. Let's do this.
So we just got to get Tanner on board.
Maybe. I just don't see myself talking about Pokemon cards. And
I mean, you guys are monetizing. That's not me.
Oh, you monetize.
How
Hey,
do I monetize
retweet my stuff. Go to see.
Are you guys giving me a stipend or something?
No, but we're giving you a platform to promote your also your business.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go.
Love you guys.
Don't
Thank you
get
all
in
so much
trouble.
for joining us. Bye
See
for
you,
now.
buddy. Bye.
Uh-huh.